Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Google Pixel 8 and compare it against the Google Pixel 7a and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, both these phones are very interesting. They're both kind of in their own league in a way, but Google is still selling both of them, so let's go and see which one you should go and pick up. If you want to pick up either one of these devices, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off side by side, the Google Pixel 7a, which came out a little earlier this year, has a pretty good panel on it. It's not terrible, it's actually pretty decent. It's a 6.1-inch OLED display, but it is a 90 Hz panel, which is actually very nice. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. One, it's a hole punch display, so that's a pretty big asset. However, it does have pretty thick bezels around it. Like, you can definitely tell this thing, it gives me like iPhone XR kind of vibes to it, to be honest, but it's a good looking phone. I'm definitely a fan of it. Has there been better phones than this thing? Yes, of course. But I do think this is a good looking phone nonetheless. And once again, I don't have like that much to complain about it from that standpoint. It's 90 Hz too, which is super nice, and it's 1080p. The Pixel 8, on the other hand, definitely has a better looking display. This thing on the front has a 6.2-inch OLED display. So still basically an OLED, but it is a 120 Hz panel, and it is just a much better looking panel than the Pixel 7a. There's way less bezel on it. It's more curved, so it has that curvature to it, which is super, super nice. You have that hole punch display, which still looks great. 120 Hz panel too, which makes things look super smooth. The 90 Hz panel on the Pixel 7a is still very nice, but 120 Hz is definitely what I prefer. So definitely on the outside, the Pixel 8 for sure wins. The build quality though is very, very similar on both. Except for the backs, the Pixel 8 and the Pixel 7a are almost built exactly the same. So you can see between both, you're getting that, protruding camera lens. I think the Pixel 8 definitely protrudes a little bit more. You have that camera, you have that SIM card tray right on the side. You have that standard, like the build quality, which feels very, very good in the hand. On the bottom, you have USB Type-C ports, which is very, very nice. Again, having these types of USB-C ports is very cool, and I love being able to connect these things and charge them up from there. On the back side, this is also a slight difference. So they look fairly similar, as you guys can kind of tell, but the Pixel 7a, as you can tell, has that dual camera setup. The Pixel 8 has that dual camera setup as well. Bigger sensors on the Pixel 8. Also, like the design, you can kind of tell on the back is a little tiny bit different with the corners, but beyond that, they're basically the same thing. You have wireless charging on both, which is super, super nice. The Pixel 8 has reverse wireless charging as well. The Pixel 7a does not have it. So on this phone, you can actually reverse wirelessly charge. The Pixel 7a, though, has a plastic back, which feels actually very nice. Like, it's a plastic back, yes, but it still feels like a very good plastic back. Like, it could feel like a glass back to some people, but you can definitely tell when you're feeling them both. Definitely the glass back feels a little bit more different. There's also a little bit of a different sound to it. But beyond that, I will still say both these phones are very similar in a lot of different ways, but definitely the Pixel 8 is the better, more premium one when it comes down to it. Now, on top of that, the other big thing here is actually with its software updates. The Pixel 7a is a Pixel, so it's going to last for quite a bit of time, which is something I love seeing. If you're wanting the longer lasting phone, you are definitely going to go ahead and basically get a longer lasting phone from something like the Pixel 8 for sure. But the 7a is still going to be here for quite a bit of time, and that's something I love seeing. The Pixel 7a though is not going to last as long as the Pixel 8. The Pixel 8 is probably going to last 7 years in terms of what Google's saying. That is a bold claim. That's crazy. That is long. That is almost as long, or if not longer, than what most iPhones actually get supported for. So the fact Apple's going to be, or the fact Google is going to be supporting these phones for that long is insane. Realistically speaking, most people will not be using this phone at that moment where this phone is no longer supported with software. So that's going to be quite insane to kind of think about. But just, again, one of those other things to kind of think about from that standpoint. Now, let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. The Pixel 8 inside has that Google Tensor G3 chipset inside with 8 gigabytes of RAM, but the Pixel 7a has a Tensor G2 chipset inside with 8 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are cleared out in the background, as you can see. So let's get into it. Phone calls 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Camera 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing too. Let's go into the Play Stores 3, 2, 1. And the Pixel 8 was actually faster there. The Pixel 7a a little bit slower. Scrolling through, let's see if there's a big difference. And I don't really think there is going to be, but you guys can kind of tell what's going on. Hopping out of these two, let's get into Photos 3, 2, 1. Okay, not that big of a difference. We have a bunch of these third-party apps we can test. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And again, Temple Run 2 is not that big of a game, but it's always good to kind of test these things out so you can kind of see like which one's the faster one, slower one, whatever. And it looks to me that the Pixel 8 did kind of load a little bit faster, but there really isn't even that big of a difference here as far as I can tell, to be honest. As you can see, the Pixel 8 was faster. Pixel 7 a little bit behind. Hopping out of this one, it's going to stack 3, 2, 1. And you can see right here again, the Pixel 8 was faster, but just by a little bit. There really wasn't even like a massive difference here either. Getting to some gameplay here, I totally messed that one up, but whatever. Hopping out of these two. So I'm going into Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And Pixel 8 was the faster one here. I think we're seeing a trend here. So far, the Pixel 8 has been the faster one basically every single time, which is weird because before I was getting like really different types of experiences between all of them. But now it looks to me that the Pixel 8 is probably doing the better job. Snake versus blocks, 3, 2, 1, which is actually really good. I love having this type of device that is actually doing a better job there when it comes down to it. And even then, though, it kind of glitches up sometimes, but I think the Pixel 8 is doing a better job overall. So when it comes down to it, I definitely do think the Pixel 8 is the faster phone. I love having a faster phone on the latest one, but I think the Pixel 7a surprisingly is still doing a good job. And in some cases, it actually is better in some ways, which is so funny. But I do think if you're going to pick up one, the Pixel 8 for sure is going to be the better one. It has newer chipset, same amount of RAM surprisingly, but you are getting the overall better phone on the Google Pixel 8 than on the Google Pixel 7a. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there as well. Now, in terms of the camera side of things, like I mentioned before, you are getting very similar kind of cameras between both, but again, they're different sensors, and the Pixel 8 is going to be better. You're getting dual cameras here, which is amazing, wide and ultra-wide cameras. You have 4K at 60 on the back of both of them. The Pixel 8, though, can do 4K at 60 on the front, which is a really nice touch. The Pixel 7a camera, I think, is very good. It's a very good, solid camera. And I think if you're going to pick up a device, this is definitely going to be one that I'd recommend buying. You're getting 0.5x zoom on the outside. You're getting 8x zoom on the inside, which is still pretty good. Portrait mode, long exposure, night sight. You're getting lots and lots of good stuff here. Camera mode, video mode, standard modes as well. This is a very good sensor for the most part. It's not perfect, but I definitely do think it's a very good lens. And that's something that I like about the Pixel 7a. On the Pixel 8, I think this is a very solid camera. This is a better camera than the Pixel 7a for sure. If you're upgrading, this is definitely one area you're going to see an upgrade. You're getting 0.5x zoom. You're getting still 8x zoom, so you're basically getting like almost the same type of capability for the most part. You're getting portrait mode, long exposure, action pan as well. You're getting night sight, panorama mode. There's definitely lots of capability within the Pixel 8's camera, and it's definitely a better camera for sure, in my opinion, than something like the Pixel 7a. That's not to say that the 7a's camera is bad, but the Pixel 8 camera is just better. So you're also probably going to be getting better battery life from the Pixel 8 as well, as far as I can tell. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you, I definitely do think the Pixel 8 is probably the better phone. I think it's going to be the phone that's going to be giving you better capability, just better everything all across the board, which is something I love seeing. But for its price, I think you're probably better off buying a Google Pixel 7 in the used market. That might just be a better deal for some people. I think the 7a is a very decent phone for the price tag. If you can swing one of these things in the used market, then go for it. But I wouldn't buy this thing brand new. They're kind of too expensive. Just buy a used Google Pixel 7. I think that's going to be better. Or Pixel 7 Pro. That will be a really good phone for probably the same price as something like a brand new Pixel 7a. So that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that will mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.